that there is the brilliant William Ruto, the politician, that I am certain a lot of Kenyans are now missing as president. Why am I saying this? Is that President Ruto was sworn into office at a time when the country is reeling from a lot of vagaries. One, of underperforming economy. Secondly, of disrupted global supply chain. 3, of ballooning unemployment rate. And therefore, they say that the difficult moments require difficult measures. We expected legitimately to see President William Ruto, who is going to run a lean and efficient government. That lean and efficient government, I believe that there is a reason why the Constitution, or through the people of Kenya in their infinite wisdom, decided to do away with the position of the assistant minister. The position of assistant minister was done away with because people of Kenya believed that once somebody is nominated as cabinet secretary, that they would take charge of the ministry, use the ministry staff to run government affairs, and deliver to the people of Kenya, so that there is no duplication of roles. Secondly, it must also be understood that over and above having the cabinet secretary in office, there is also the principal secretary, who that if and when for whatever reason the cabinet secretary is not available, the principal secretary as the person holding the authority to incur expenditure in the ministry would be able to sufficiently take charge. So I am faulting the creation of the position of the CAS because of the opportunity cost. Opportunity cost in the sense that the 126 billion that we would be spending in a year to maintain the CASs is something that we can put to a proper use. Of course, there has been argument that we can use the position of the CAS as a training ground for young people in government. A position that, of course, I identify with. However, back to where I started, that we are in a precarious position, economically and politically. If you permit me a chance to speak on the precariousness of our political situation, is this: that the president was sworn into office with a majority of 234,000, right? Yeah. So that it means that his closest challenger was short of only 234. So it is the vote that was making the difference was so slim. So that it means that when a huge swath of the population is suffering, and especially with the calls of legitimacy or lack of it in towards government, it means that you have a fairly restive populace that is susceptible to political stimuli. And that political stimuli can be used to very destructive ends. So that the president has to treat very carefully. And for instance, right now, we are told that there are 400 doctors who are still unemployed. 4,000. Oh, 4,000, thank you. But then you also look at the standard, the infrastructure, the healthcare infrastructure in this country. It is not one of the best. Still, so many people are dying of curable diseases. It is something that we can stop, and we are pleading with the president that we want to see President William Ruto we saw on the campaign trail, that everyone else was talking about as a brilliant politician. As president, we want him to govern in a small measure, using poetry, as much as we know that politicians govern through prose. Thank you. All right, Akivaga, your response? I
want to respond to something. I'm disturbed by the continued sentiments by my friend that the position of the CAS is unconstitutional. I'm wondering, how are they declaring something constitutional, which even the courts themselves have declared it is constitutional? They
had declared it unconstitutional, but then it was in the setting.
Based on the public participation angle of it, not based on its substantiveness and the procedure and its place in the constitution, because it is clear. It is not a position in the Constitution. It's a position in the Public Service Commission. And let me say the following. There is an office, the real position that has been created currently. When you look at Parliament, and Opio and I won't talk about this because he benefits from it. When you look at Parliament, in this year, we have increased the committees by 10. As a matter of fact, the Public Investment Committee has been subdivided into 3. Now, these 10 committees, according to the macro fiscal analytics snapshot, a report by the Institute of Public Finance, they categorically state that there is no clear demarcation of roles of these committees that have been subdivided. And what these committees are doing, they are simply taking taxpayers' money. Now, this is the area where Opio and I is supposed to talk about because he presides over the cohort in the National Assembly, but he won't talk about it. Why? Because it benefits him. So he only has an issue with the office that was created back then, and he's taking, exception of that office. Yet we have the real issue in Parliament itself.
I think
Joseph, yes?
I think we're on the same page with my brother. He's also